At Amazon, skills training and apprenticeships can move hourly employees into higher paying roles, like robotics. And that's a win you can count on.
You're on. Come on!
How does the world's most trusted dog expert keep his own dogs so healthy?
Hi, I am Cesar Milan. In my 20 years rehabilitating dogs, I've seen too many struggle with health problems that no amount of training could fix. Then I discovered it wasn't the dog, it was their food. Fortunately, I found veterinarian Dr. Marty's anti-kibble breakthrough.
Nature's Blend is packed with whole foods that are freeze-dried, locking in nutrients.
I saw a remarkable improvement in my dogs within weeks.
Try Dr. Marty risk-free for 90 days. Plus, get a free gift when you call or visit drmartypets.com/Caesar.
Hey guys, I'll be with you.
certain to
1
take
second.
that?
1 second.
Are you for imprint certain? I'm
Finish
like
eating.
lightning today.
Certainty matters. So when you need the right high-quality promotional products, printed perfectly and guaranteed to arrive on time, that's the certainty of 4imprint. Wow your clients, nail your next event, or inspire your team by visiting 4imprint.com.
4imprint for certain.
This is CNN.
Any moment now, we're expecting a press briefing here in moments from the FBI Director Kash Patel, the Utah Governor Spencer Cox, and other top law enforcement officials
I only
who are
got
on the
CNN
latest
right
in
now.
the manhunt that's underway for the killer of Charlie Kirk. We'll bring that to you live and those updates when it happens. And it comes tonight as the last person to speak to Charlie Kirk is now speaking publicly after one of the most transformational conservative media stars was assassinated just feet away from him. Hunter Kozak is a student at Utah Valley University. He actually just asked Charlie Kirk a question about shootings seconds before a single bullet struck and killed him. Kozak shared this video message to CNN tonight.
It's a tragedy, and it's hard to grapple with. And I'm part of a community that's struggling to grapple with it right now. And people have obviously pointed to the irony that the point that I was trying to make is how peaceful the left was right before he got shot. And that only makes sense if we stay peaceful. And as much as I disagree with Charlie Kirk, I'm on the record for how much I disagree with Charlie Kirk, but like, man, dude, he is still a human being. Have we forgotten that? Are we crazy? Like, I stand by so little of everything that he said, but one of the things that he stood by was conversation.
And joining me tonight is someone who knew Charlie Kirk through his young rise into a powerful political force, the former Republican Congressman Joe Walsh. And just to hear Hunter there, I mean, you can tell how shaken up he is by what happened to him yesterday, and being that person who was engaging with Charlie Kirk when this happened and when he was murdered in broad daylight. You got to feel for him when you hear what he's going through tonight.
Oh, Caitlin, I wish all of America could hear what Hunter just said, because what Hunter just said is where all of America's got to get to. Think about what he said. He probably disagrees with everything that Charlie Kirk stood for, but peacefully. And that's where we've got to be. And look, you know my history with Charlie, and this may be an odd thing because, like Hunter, I grew to disagree with everything Charlie Kirk said these last number of years. But I feel like he was a son to me because I met him when he was 16. I helped him start Turning Point USA. He helped get me elected to Congress in that Tea Party class. We were political buddies, and then Trump came along and we went our separate ways and disagreed. But again, generally always tried to do it respectfully.
And that was the point that Hunter was making. For people who didn't watch the clips, understandably, from yesterday, he was questioning Charlie Kirk about transgender mass shooters who are transgender, and basically he was trying to make the point that statistic is very small compared to all of the people who commit mass shootings. And so when you hear him there, and he's talking about the point that he was trying to make, which he said was that the left is peaceful, it's clearly something he's struggling with in the responses that he has seen to Charlie Kirk's murder.
Yeah, and I'm sure, Caitlin, that Hunter abhors Charlie's take and where he stood on transgender Americans, as did I. but what Hunter said was so powerful. You can abhor someone like Charlie Kirk's beliefs and utterly condemn murder, utterly condemn political violence. And you've got to make that distinction. And I've had to make that distinction with Charlie Kirk. And Caitlin so beautifully, Hunter right there demonstrates for the whole country that distinction, that you can abhor the man's belief, but as Hunter said, he's a man. He was a son, a husband, and a father. Let's understand that difference.
And, I just wonder, as someone who is a former elected official, how you're seeing this tonight, because we've heard from a lot of people who say, yeah, this has put this into perspective. Death threats were already out of control, as the House Speaker Mike Johnson was telling us last night. And now this has changed it in terms of people feeling incredibly uncomfortable and unsafe. And even some lawmakers tonight canceling town halls and public events because they're worried, not just for themselves, but for the people who attend those events.
Oh, Caitlin, absolutely. This is the world we live in now. And as a former member, look, any member of Congress, and I've heard from members on both sides, they do not feel safe out in public anymore. What's so jarring about what happened to Charlie is he's not an elected official. A private citizen was assassinated. So I do think there's going to be real thought and reform to more security. Because again, we're living in this world, and I don't think that it's going to abate anytime soon. I'm really worried about, as one of your earlier guests talked about, kind of like the circular here thing now that both sides, right, are engaging in political violence. This is really, really a scary, scary place to be in.
Yeah. And we've heard from leaders in Congress who say it's time to take the temperature down. Mark Wayne Mullen last night was saying, to hit a reset button and rethink both.
They had Charlie
he said
on
the
Air
left and the
Force
right
2
here.
earlier. They took him to his family.
I wonder what you'd like to hear from people, given what you would like to hear from elected leaders on this front.
Well, look, Caitlin, you know what I think about Trump. We're not going to get any leadership from the White House, and he's not going to make any effort to unify the country. What I'd love to see is some of my former colleagues. I'd love to see Republican and Democratic members together go out on town halls together go out on the road and make statements together and condemn everything, all of this violence. I think members of Congress generally will toe the line and do well. I'd love to see them come together. What I worry about, Caitlin, are the media voices, because a lot of the reaction we've seen to the killing of Charlie, especially the media voices on the right, declaring war and we're going to go after the left. We've got to tamp that stuff down immediately.
Yeah, and just to remind everyone, what we're seeing here, we're waiting for a press conference from the FBI director, Kash Patel. We're also going to hear from the Utah governor, Spencer Cox, who last night so eloquently put into words what so many people were feeling in the wake of this assassination. I think we have this moment where it's what President Trump, given what you just said about him, Joe, what he said last night in his Oval Office address compared to what he said today as he was leaving the White House when he was asked by a reporter what he wants his supporters to do and how he believes they should respond to this. And basically what he told reporters today, when the reporter invoked Charlie Kirk's position of nonviolence, the president said that he would like to see nonviolence as a response from his supporters to this. Some people were pointing out what he said in his Oval Office address last night, where he was blaming leftists. He was mentioning judges and the media. Let me just let you listen to the president.
How do you want to see your...
Okay. We'll come back to this in just 1 second. I'm trying to get another. We're gonna wait for this. I want to see Fox News, Charlie Kirk, FBI press conference live. Let's see here. They should be doing. Okay, here we go.
The way it happened, echoes of Butler, you know, the place that Charlie sat, that grandstand little area, that's apparently where the location is always chosen for these kind of events here. So that argues again that this person knew the terrain because he knew he could get the shot off from up there. How do you know? How would I know, let's say if I just was going in blind, where they were going to put Charlie's stage? This guy knew. It argues a lot of recon or a lot of familiarity. The people here know that, and they feel like somebody in their community has done this awful thing.
They really have. We bring back for reaction Fox News contributor, former FBI Special Agent Nicole Parker, retired FBI Special Agent Maureen O'Donnell is also with us. JustTheNews.com founder, CEO, editor-in-chief, and chief investigative reporter John Solomon is with us. Nicole, let's put all that we know together right now. We have a recovery of a weapon. What that will be matched with ballistics in terms of whatever they are able to cover or find as it relates to the gunshot to Charlie's neck. The new video of the limp in one direction, running in the other direction. The fingerprints that Maureen very astutely pointed out as well. Where do we go from here? What do we expect to hear from Kash Patel and Dan Bongino and other law enforcement tonight?
It's one of two things. They're either going to say, we believe that we have the name of somebody, a person of interest,
They got a
potential
name.
suspect.
They got a name.
Or they're going to say,
Oh, yeah.
we need the help of the public, and we're investigating things exhaustively, everything that we've got. Like you said, they're pouring in evidence. Tips are coming in. They're going to go through every single thing. No stone will be left unturned. I really hope it's the first, because it is time for us to put this person where they belong. But let's wait and see. This investigation, though, this is going to be going to trial, I'm sure. This person is alive at this point, and if they are safely
That is
taken
if he
into
hasn't
custody when
unalived
they are
himself.
located, again, we don't know when that will be. But it's a very different incident than, you know, a lot of these school shootings where they shoot themselves, they've committed
gonna tell us the
suicide in
name.
the act. That is why it is so important
Hopefully
that we
they
do
tell us
not
they have him in
stop as
custody.
a prosecutorial team. They are continuing to say, no matter what, even if we've located the individual, the investigation is just beginning, Sean. These are in the early stages of this. They've got to back their way in, and they've got to build a very, very solid case. Like
Very
I said,
tight case.
if he goes into custody safely, this will likely go to trial. And so they've got to have everything locked tight and ready to go when that occurs.
You know, Maureen, all indications are that this person of interest seems to be
He's young.
very high at the top of their list for all the reasons we've discussed here. However,
There he
Nicole
is.
touched on this earlier. We may now be looking at a nationwide manhunt. If you look at somebody in a baseball cap, somebody with a shirt on,
Thank you, Tina, for being
the
here.
ability of people to alter their appearance,
Talked about
their
a
look,
horrific
dye
video
their
of
hair,
them
etc.,
yesterday.
could make that even more
Being
challenging.
cute. Oh my
The
God.
FBI, I am sure,
Remind you of
has
JFK.
technology, especially in the era of artificial intelligence, where they have facial recognition techniques, etc. Certainly, they'll be checking every car in and out of the area in the time period that we're talking about. By the way, it looks like the mic checks have finished and they're about to start the press conference. But Maureen, your take on that, the nationwide manhunt.
Yes, it could be a nationwide manhunt, but keep in mind, he had a cell phone when if he bought a burner phone, he probably had his regular cell phone, his iPhone with him, and it looked like he had an iPhone in his pocket at that particular time. They may have ID'd that telephone, and they've been following that telephone. So, or he may have had his personal telephone on his person when he bought the burner phone, and they'll be able to tie those two together just from the video surveillance. There's a number of
He had to
different
have a
things
good
happening
scope
at once,
if he
as all
was,
the other
Stephanie.
people have alluded to, especially Jim Galliano. I was actually getting exhausted listening to him, having done investigation.
I find it really weird that the question that they was asking about the trans thing and this guy's bullets was supposed to have like trans names or some sort of art or something like that?
Like this before, but I think the thing that we're going to hear today in this presser is they're going to let us know whether or not they tied this round to the weapon. That's one of the things that they'll be able to come up with pretty quickly. They'll be able to do that. There's a number of other things that they'll be able to do quickly that they should be able to tell us now. And I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if, as I said earlier, they ID this person in the presser now. Another thing to consider is if anyone out there has video on their phone that you haven't turned in yet, you don't feel like going to the police, go to FBI.gov, and there's a little tab right there that says submit a tip or lead. And you can upload documents, videos, anything you need. So just get it done and get it to the FBI. They're paying very close attention. They're working very hard and they're getting right back to people. I know that because I've talked to someone yesterday. I walked them through how to do it and they got a call from the FBI within minutes.
Paul, let me go back to you. With all the sophisticated plotting and planning that appears to have gone into this, I've got to imagine the odds were pretty high that he had a burner phone, whether he had his everyday phone with him when he got that burner phone.
You can't hide.
It seems like too much thought and detail and planning went into this for him to make that fundamental an error. Although we are watching him, put his fingerprints all over the rails as he's climbing up to that roof.
I got you, Nina.
Yeah, and we know for a fact the Bureau has stated that they have a palm print. So there's a very good chance that you can go from that to DNA. Let's remember something. Brian Kohlberger thought he was very clever as well. Turned his phone off. He did a few things with his phone and his computer, and look how that worked out. Look, I said it in the earlier hour. These days, if the resources are there on the police side, which is why the funding and the headcount is so important. If the resources are there to do the investigation, it is very, very hard to get away with murder.
Can you do that with Sebastian?
All the time, where we are digital beings now.
Can you
and
do
that
that
is
with
a very strong vector for investigation. So he can
Jack
plan
and
until
Lily?
the cows come home. He's not going to defeat the collective wisdom of law enforcement in this country. The technical
That would be
abilities
nice.
of the FBI, the localized knowledge of the Utah cops. He's just not going to beat that. They're going to get him. Just remember something. We're only about 30-something hours into this thing. We're all conditioned for instant gratification. We even still have some of the first 48, the colloquial first 48, that I don't think really even applies anymore. So they're going to get him, and we're going to find out what was really behind this, and we may even find out that much tonight in the presser.
Yeah, let me go back to you, Nicole. One issue we've not brought up here is whether or not we're looking at a lone wolf or whether there are potentially others involved. I saw one interview, a local interview in Salt Lake, where an individual was more than convinced that there were people on the ground that they believe are accessories to this crime. Obviously, the FBI has to pay attention to that possibility. Any thoughts?
Oh, they know who it is.
That's right. They can rule nothing out until this case is solved. They can absolutely rule nothing out. And I've heard the same, assumptions and thoughts and feelings. I think a lot of people are interested in the person that asked the question just seconds before he was shot and killed. Was there any link to that? Because it was about transgenderism, and apparently, there might be some link to writings or inscriptions on possible magazines or weapon. We'll see more about that, but I do believe that the FBI is fully aware of that, and I have no doubt that they have investigated and will continue to interview those that were in the crowd and the immediate surroundings of him, those that were asking questions.
This is the thing.
That's
Both
what you do as
sides are getting
investigators.
hurt.
Until
Both
it's
sides are
not,
getting hurt, and it's
you
got to
assume
stop.
that it is, and you just keep going, and you have to go down many rabbit holes when you're an FBI agent. And sometimes you think you've got the case solved, and then all of a sudden, it's not. And there's lots of twists and turns. But the one thing that they do not do, they do not rule out anything until they can rule out something. And right now we are not at that stage. We're in the beginning stages of this investigation. So that's a very good point. This person could have been a lone wolf or a lone offender. He's not a wolf. Wolf is too complimentary. A lone offender, a lone loser, or they may have been working and conspiring with others to carry out this most heinous and disgusting crime. but let's see what happens.
He did it. He's a good.
Maureen, let me go to the
God.
issue that I brought up with John Solomon earlier tonight. The inscriptions on the weapon,
pew pew.
on
That's it.
I believe the casings, they have been made public.
High-powered,
I have
no
not independently corroborated that, but it's been widely reported. That would almost always expose an agenda. And based on what we're reading, there's a very specific agenda here. What do you glean from that?
Well, it tells me that this offender or this coward spent a lot of time online.
Someone's got to know who this is.
Like the rest of them.
Someone there has to know who this is. Everyone is watching this right now in the
several
world.
Prior active shooters, like the Mangiano guy and the Christian school shooter, female or whatever. But so they put their slogans on there because they're going to make a stance, and that's in case they get killed on their way out. They want people to know why they did what they did. But I really enjoy this part of the crime when we don't know their name, because then we don't use their name, because what they want us to do is use their name, make them famous. They want to feel like they're big dog on campus. But what this person is starting to realize now is that the big dog now is all the old salty dogs out on the street, all the law enforcement officers, local, state, federal, all the people behind computers, everybody that we're just gonna bury this person with evidence.
Well, that's our hope here, and that's what, hopefully we're going to discover any moment. We did expect this presser to begin about 10 minutes ago. They have gone through their mic checks, which means that the presser really is imminent.
At the U.S. Naval Academy.
Immediately when it begins, we'll go right to it, so that'll come up. We do go now to FBI retired supervisory special agent James Gagliano, along with former DC homicide detective, Fox News contributor Ted Williams. Ted, back to you and back to the inscriptions, almost always exposing an agenda. That tells me that would raise the possibility that we're not looking at somebody acting alone.
It's every day.
They would tell me that there will probably other people be involved. There have been a couple of people on the ground. Our own Jason Chaffetz, for example, brought up the timing of a question and the possible agenda that matched the inscription issue that's been.
I've been in large crowds before and been like, oh my God, what if someone just pulled out something right now?
Your thoughts?
Scary.
Well, I've always thought that law enforcement cannot have tunnel vision shown in these kinds of investigations. They've got to keep an open mind. And at some stage or another, as I've always said, crime scene speaks to good investigators. And what we have out here now are all hands on deck, federal, state, and local investigators. And these are experienced people. And these people are looking at each and every clue that they can conceivably come in contact with. And so quite naturally, yes, they're going to look at this person perhaps as a lone wolf, but they're going to also look at him to try to determine if others are involved. And when you look at the inscriptions that you've spoken about here, those things are very significant to this investigation. And remember, this investigation is not just a criminal investigation, but they also have to do the prosecution once and if they catch this guy alive. And so they're preparing in both directions, Sean, in this case.
Yeah. What about the palm print? What about the footprint that they have, James? That'll be critical as well.
Absolutely. I mean, that kind of forensic evidence harvesting, Sean, is so critical. You also add in DNA. I mean, since about the mid-1980s, we've been able to make cases using DNA, and this has been a game changer. I think also an important thing to understand here, and I'll agree with Ted on this too, as we look at this, and we look at this crime scene, not becoming so siloed or tunnel visioned into chasing motive. Yeah, everything seems to be pushing in one direction, but Sean, Sean, I got to tell you, experience in working
Get the
mass
hornet
murderers,
spray.
mass shooters, and terrorists, that they all have one thing in common. They're grievance collectors.
Hornet
And
spray.
maybe the evidence is
Big bottle
pointing in
of
that
hornet spray.
direction. But Sean, I'll close with this. People have been talking about how this was a professional hit. There's nothing that I've seen from this other than the fact that this individual was able to get onto the rooftop, take that lucky shot, and then get off and not be immediately apprehended in all the chaos and ensuing, crowds and surging here and there. But this does not appear to be somebody working with anybody. He appears to be solo, and he appears to not kind of know what his egress plan was going to be. Sean, I-15 is spitting distance from the rooftop where he took his shot from. He could have had a car parked in the parking lot right there, not needed to go into a neighborhood, and been gone 3 to 5 minutes after the shot and been miles and miles and states away. Now, could that still be the case? Absolutely. But Sean, I think we're really close to either catching him or hopefully with the time they're taking to put this press conference together tonight, maybe there'll be some good news that he's actually been apprehended.
No, I think you listen. I hope and pray that you're right on so many different levels, because I think it's critical that we get to the bottom of it. I'm not sure when somebody has a agenda, whatever the agenda happens to be. The inscriptions give us an indication. You always got to imagine that they're probably, they can be acting alone. They can, think they're doing God's will. It does raise the issue that we spent a lot of time on last night, which is talking about how we become numb, how we dehumanize people. When you start with Nazi and racist and Hitler and Stalin and Mussolini, and Republicans are racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic, at some point, there are people with ugly, evil, sick, twisted minds that then begin the process of thinking they're doing God's will by taking out bad people that they've been indoctrinated into believing are bad people. I think that is a very real component. We bring in now former FBI Special Agent Stuart Kaplan, former Secret Service agent Richard Staropoli is with us. Richard, start with you. Let's go over everything we've been discussing here tonight, everything with the recovery of this weapon. That is critical. The ballistics that they will be able to match. Let's look at the fingerprints that will be, and the palm print and the footprint, and the sophisticated level of planning, the messages, the inscriptions, the limping in one direction, the running in a second direction, what looks to be something stuffed in the pants. We're now beginning to get a fuller picture of evidence that this person of interest is in all likelihood the person they are looking for. And then where we go from here. When you put it all together with your background, tell us what you think.
Well, Sean, there is no other agency in the world that can bring the technology and forensic capabilities to bear better than the FBI under the right leadership. And that's exactly what you're seeing here. This mutt is quickly finding out that this is not 1970 and he's not D.B. Cooper. There is a treasure trove of forensic information that is being compiled right now, which will quickly lead to his identification and successful capture. There is no place that he can run. They are on top of him, and hopefully at this press conference in the next couple of minutes, they'll make an announcement pretty quickly about an end to this.
Yeah, let me go to you, Stuart. Same question. The ballistics, the recovery of the weapon, the new video that has been released, limping in one direction, the pictures that show, bulging pants on what looks like his trip up the stairs to the roof. Fingerprints will be readily available, a palm print, a footprint, inscriptions, all of it together.
Sean, the assassination of Charlie Kirk is a textbook example of domestic terrorism. And when you have an act of domestic terrorism, it falls within the national security realm. And the FBI, rightfully so, was able to deploy those assets that you may not normally see deployed in the routine criminal investigative world. And there is no doubt, and the public should not be made aware of this, and I hope that a case like this will keep it behind the curtain. But let me be clear, the FBI, in concert with this very sophisticated technology that basically can track and identify individuals who engage in these type of activities, has been deployed. It has turned out, obviously, to be very successful. I don't think the viewing audience can really appreciate how quickly they have combed through CCTV, cell phone digital footprints, DNA, fingerprint examination. But all of this very high-tech, sophisticated technology has allowed the FBI to accelerate at a very rapid pace to be able now, less than 24 hours basically, to come forward and present this to the public and say, here's the individual that we believe is responsible for taking out Charlie Kirk. That in and of itself really, I can't overemphasize the men and women who are on the street of the FBI, not the people that are in the ivory tower, really prove their worthiness of us commending them and showing how effective this law enforcement agency is, not only here in the United States, but globally.
Yeah. We just got the 2-minute warning. They're about 20 minutes late for this press conference.
2 minutes.
That's not a criticism in any way. Please know. I know that law enforcement is working around the clock. I'm pretty certain Kash Patel and Dan Bongino have probably not slept since this story has broken. I know it's also personal for both of them. I'm expecting, and look, I may be wrong here. I don't know, but I will, have got to tell you, Stuart, that I'm suspecting we're going to find out a lot in the next minute and a half.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Look, Sean, the FBI became aware of who their prime suspect was in the wee hours of the morning last night.
They got him apprehended.
Deploying those assets that, quite frankly, look, as Americans, it is nearly impossible to move about without being picked up on some sort of technology that is out there. It is out there to keep us safe. It is generally deployed for countermeasures with respect to espionage, counterintelligence matters, those real serious matters that we very rarely ever hear about because they should not be publicized. This was a perfect textbook case to deploy those assets. And here we are now, hopefully coming to a conclusion very quickly.
All right, Richard, we're going to go to that press conference. We've
Here we
been
go.
awaiting FBI, local law enforcement. There's Kash Patel. I can't see who else is in the picture, but I'm sure that they will introduce themselves. We've been waiting for this for a long time. A lot of breaking developments tonight in terms of a recovered weapon. We have this new TMZ video that we've been airing for you. We know that they have palm prints. We know that they have fingerprints. We know that they have footprints. Let's listen in.
This evening, we have FBI Director Patel, FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino, Special Agent in Charge Robert Bowles, Governor Spencer Cox, Lieutenant Governor Deidre Henderson, and Commissioner Anderson, as well as, Commissioner Bo Mason, as well as some local partners here present with us today. Governor, we'll kick it off. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here tonight. We appreciate the media and the partnership we have with you in helping us to get information out to the public so that we can catch this assassin and hold him accountable. We are going to share a portion of a video and that we have of the suspect, as well as some new stills. Those have already been released, but we want to make sure that they get as much attention as possible so that we can get help from the public in tracking down this evil human being. So we're going to cue up the video right now. Show that. I've asked Commissioner Bo Mason if he would narrate to you what is happening in this video.
Thank you, Governor. Bo Mason, Commissioner for the Utah Department of Public Safety. If you look up to the top left, you'll see the building where the shooter was proned out in the top left corner. We'll go ahead and play that video and I'll narrate as we walk through that. So here you see the suspect ran behind that upper building. He's going to come out on the right, moves to this far right corner. As he does, he's going to climb off the edge and then drop down to the ground. As he did that, he left some palm impressions. There's some smudges, some places we're looking to collect DNA. There's a shoe imprint where we believe the suspect is clearly identified as wearing Converse tennis shoes. Again, we'll replay that again so you can get another view of that. It's important to note his black t-shirt, his black pants, and there appears to be some white on the soles of those Converse tennis shoes. Those are all identifiable items that we're looking for. In the stills that are going to follow this, you're going to see a very distinctive t-shirt with an American flag and appears to have an eagle on it. There's also a baseball cap with a triangle on it and a pair of sunglasses. All distinctive, all things that we would ask the public to look for and try to identify if they know someone who has those items, who has been seen wearing those items. We're looking for all that information. Here you see the suspect after dropping off the building. He moved around across this grassy area, around the parking lot. We're going to pan to the right. After he crosses the street, this is where he moves over into the wooded area. This is the video evidence that we utilize to track his movements and to locate that firearm in that wooded area following the discovery of this evidence. Good. You want to go to the stills? So here's the still photographs I mentioned. These have been enhanced. So these are slightly different than what we introduced earlier. Please pay close attention to the t-shirt. Like I said, very distinctive with that American flag and that eagle. The hat with the triangle and the sunglasses. If you'll go to the next picture, please. The backpack as well. All identifying features that we're hoping the public can help us identify and lead us to this suspect. Next picture. And again, there's a better picture of the hat with that triangle logo, and again, the t-shirt, blue jeans, and you get a good look at those Converse tennis shoes as well. We have pushed these out. We'll continue to push these out, and we just ask for the public's cooperation through the public. The tips that have been coming in are what are giving us our next leads and enabling us to continue to further this investigation. We've had great cooperation from the public, and we're continuing to ask for that as we move forward. Thank you, and I'll turn the time back over to Governor Cox.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Mason. I want to thank Director Patel and his team. It's great to have them on the ground with us tonight. We've had several briefings, and he's had an opportunity to walk the crime scene. We appreciate our local law enforcement here. Again, we have Mike Smith, who is the county sheriff here. We have all of our local chiefs of police that are here as well, all working hand in hand with the state and with the FBI as we move forward with this investigation. Now, I'll just give you a little warning. We will not be taking any questions at this time. We're giving you the latest information we have, being as transparent with everything that we have. But I do want to share a couple things that I think are important. We cannot do our job without the public's help right now. The public has answered our call for action. So far, we've received more than...
Oh, son of a bitch. Come on.
For the murder of Charlie Kirk. We also continue to implore the public to support this investigation and come forward with any information. We are truly hopeful that this video and new photos will lead to even more tips. We are processing. We have an incredible team, a state and federal team working together to process those tips. We are going out in tandem to interview any potential person of interest or suspects. But we need, again, we need as much help as we can possibly get. Any videos or photos that you might have, the public should be submitted to our digital media tip line, which is www.fbi.gov/Utah Valley shooting, all lowercase. Again, that is fbi.gov/Utah Valley shooting. all lowercase. You can also provide general tips about the shooting by calling 1-800-CALL-FBI. That's 1-800-CALL-FBI, or at tips.fbi.gov. This is, I would just say, this is not just a local matter here in Utah. We have people all over the country that are helping to bring this perpetrator to justice for Charlie Kirk and his family. I will just add as well that, as was mentioned, there is a lot of forensic evidence that is being processed right now at both the state lab and the and federal labs, federal lab on the East Coast. So we are working in tandem together. I would also just add a word of note for those people who are spending so much time on social media. I think Charlie said it best, that when things get bad, we should put our phones down and spend a little time with our families. There is a tremendous amount of disinformation. We are tracking our team, the state team, and I'm sure the federal team as well. What we're seeing is our adversaries want violence. China, we have bots from Russia, China, all over the world that are trying to instill disinformation and encourage violence. I would encourage you to ignore those, to turn off those streams, and to spend a little more time with our families. We desperately need some healing. We'll have more to say about that in the days and weeks to come. More than anything, we are going to catch this person. Last thing I will just say is we've been working with our attorneys, getting everything that we need, affidavits ready, so that we can pursue the death penalty in this case, and that will happen here in the state of Utah. Again, to the public, to those who are grieving, thank you for your prayers. I know we are feeling those prayers. I know the Kirk family is feeling those prayers as well. We pray that God will bless our nation at this very dark time. We can start healing by finding this perpetrator and holding him accountable, and we need your help to do that. Thank you.
That is the press conference we have been waiting for. We continue our coverage as the manhunt for Charlie Kirk's assassin continues. Authorities just gave an update, sharing new video of the alleged shooter on the rooftop.
I thought they would give
jumping
more.
off and running away. Let me go over some of what we learned in this press conference. And by the way, Kash Patel, the FBI director, Deputy FBI Director Dan Bongino were there. Governor Spencer Cox was there, as were other top law enforcement and sheriffs in the area. Sheriff Mike Smith, many chiefs of police were with them. But they shared this video. This is new. This is in addition to the video we've been showing you all night from TMZ. TMZ's video, we're going to go back. This is the video they just showed. If we can re-rack that and go back to the beginning, I want to show, if you recall, we have another video that we showed earlier. See him running towards the end of the building. Late last night, for the first time, there was a distant video.
Creepy to see him like that, like
dressed very
running.
similar, running across, and that was captured by somebody with a cell phone.
Yep.
That part we had today. Again, this is a separate video from TMZ that also came out. Look at the upper left-hand side of your screen. So that is consistent with, and right at the time of the shooting, that person ran. And now we see with the new video, if we can re-rack that, that the FBI just showed us. They are asking for as much help from the public, information from the public as possible. But this is immediately after he jumped off that building. You can see he is walking. They did say that they use this video as a means of following the path that this person of interest, they haven't said suspect yet, they didn't use that word, person of interest, following this path, and that led them to the recovery of the weapon, which obviously is critical. So if we're to rehash what we learned in this press conference tonight, first hearing from Governor Spence, sharing this new video. We had the new still photos. They were a little bit more enhanced than what we have. That video, that is the person of interest. You can see he's carrying something, it looks like his backpack, jumping off. They spent a lot of time talking about what this person of interest was wearing. This is where they got the shoe imprint and the palm print right there when he was jumping off that roof. Again, you watch, you'll see
he's wearing
this is where
Converse.
they got a hand up a palm print, and when he lands, this is where they got a footprint. That could be crucial, critical evidence. And you see this individual begins to run and then slowly
You can tell he
walk,
hurt his
and then
leg.
try to acclimate to the crowd, which was on the other side of the building. What we learned tonight is in this new video, they showed in the beginning of the video, if we can get to that part of it, they show the shooter in a prone position. In other words, a shooting position. They point out he's wearing a black t-shirt. They point out it has a flag and an eagle on that t-shirt, that he's wearing a baseball cap and it has a triangle on that. They identified the tennis shoes that he was wearing. And again, they have the foot imprint. They were Converse tennis shoes. He drops down, he crosses the street.
Converse.
And they use this video, again, very, very incredibly
His
sophisticated.
shirt almost looks like it's got
very smart policing
tape around it.
to find that weapon. They are asking all of the public for help. They're asking people that might have videotapes or anybody that has seen anything. You can upload it. You can call the FBI's number, 1-800-CALL-FBI. They're asking for more tips. They are urging the public to understand there is a lot of disinformation, as I know most of you know, on social media. They did say in this press conference they will pursue the death penalty. That also came out in this press conference. Okay,
As they should.
A lot to get to. We bring another hour of special coverage with these new developments. We also will hear from Donald Trump Jr. tonight. He was very close.
People
with
have to know him.
Kirk. Charlie Kirk, admired everybody in the Trump family. So we'll hear from Don Jr. coming up in the course
Can't be
of
the
this
first
hour.
time he's
But
ever
we do
said he
bring
didn't
back
like
former
Charlie
FBI
Kirk,
Special
right?
Agent Nicole Parker, retired FBI Special Agent Maureen O'Connell, JustTheNews.com founder, editor-in-chief, chief investigative reporter John Solomon. John, let's start on the news side. Anything I'm missing in my summary of what we got here?
No, listen, I've covered 1,000 of these, and there's two things. The biggest news is that the state of Utah has decided to seek the death penalty. It's no longer in doubt. They're preparing the paperwork for a suspect whose name they don't know. It is clear they do not know the name of the suspect, that they don't have a cell phone track, they don't have fingerprints, DNA, or digital footprint, and that's why they're putting so much personally identifying information out to try to help get the public to find something that's there. I was struck by the logo on the hat. I've been seeing some interesting chatter on that today, and I think that's something like that. When you're in this position, the FBI, you've got incredible visual footage, but no name. It's something as simple as a playlist that someone had on a song list, a social media post, a little piece of clothing, a worn part of the bag that he carried on his back. The way he walked through the neighborhood and knew the neighborhood, that will be a key that will break this case open, and that's why they
I thought they was
so
going to
much
release a
detail. But
name.
the FBI director didn't speak tonight. That tells you that they don't yet have an identity that they're pursuing, and that's why they're asking the public's help.
Nicole, you had referred to that earlier and how important and critical that's going to be in helping the FBI find this person of interest. I've got to imagine, even though they're not saying it, that this goes beyond a person of interest. This has got to be their chief suspect.
Yeah, this is a suspect.
Absolutely, but they've got to be able to identify who that individual is, and it's going to be challenging. And the fact that they're coming out in this press conference and saying, we have not identified the name of this person that you see jumping off of the roof. We need your help. We need your tips. And again, Sean, a $100,000 reward leading to this person's identity and arrest. That is huge. The FBI doesn't usually start at 100,000. They usually start at 10,000 and then go up to 25 and then up to 50. Right off the bat, $100,000. Again, anyone within the sound of my voice, have the integrity. If you know this individual, even if it's someone close to you, a loved one, a friend, a coworker, somebody knows who this person is. And just like Governor Cox said, that is how they are going to solve this investigation.
It sounds like they don't know his name, because there's maybe they do know his name, but
You know, DNA is very powerful, and it's something that we love in the FBI. But again, if
so I want to show y'all this real quick, just to put it in perspective for you guys right here. Let me take this banner off. Look at this. So this is how far. This is where he pew-pewed from, right? And this is where Kirk was. That is a very good, that's someone who, in my opinion, just not practice, right? Because he only pewed one time, right? One time. That's really far. Yeah, we showed it, we showed it of them. That's why everyone looked that way. Yeah, yep. That's why everyone looked that way. It certainly is. I'm sure they will tell us if, I mean, someone's got to know him. Someone has to know him.
they're still going, undergoing examination, but unless there's a known reference for the DNA, they don't have anything to match. They have to have a known sample, which is usually found in CODIS, and that's usually because someone's been arrested. Let's say that this person has never been arrested before. They have no criminal history, so they're not going to be in that database. And then also something that's very common that they use in law enforcement now is genealogical DNA, which we hear about, which is used to solve cases as well. So again, if there's no known reference for...
Yeah, that's very far away. I want to show y'all this real quick. Yeah. He rode, they went and picked him up on Air Force 2 today.
DNA. They haven't been arrested. They're not in CODIS, and there's no genealogical DNA. It will be very difficult to use the DNA to identify who the person is up front. And so we're going back to old-fashioned policing again. If you see something, say something. If you think you may know this individual, call the FBI, 800-CALL-FBI, and again, www.fbi.gov/Utah Valley shooting. Anything and everything they need, all hands on deck from the entire country right now. Frankly, the entire world, anywhere in the world. If you know this person, you report it.
Yeah.
Okay, some more stuff coming in. I want to show you this quickly. This is a video of Vance's wife and Erica, which is Charlie Kirk, Mrs. Kirk. They are holding hands as they are getting off Air Force 2. Right here. Her husband's body is on that aircraft, right? That's would be so difficult.
if I can. And I do have a source out in the area, law enforcement source, that is saying they have a name. They have a name that was used. They don't know if it is an alias or not, which is why they didn't mention a name. I do not personally have it myself, but this is what a very reliable source has told me. You just heard from law enforcement. You heard from the governor. We have this new videotape. We have more details about what the individual of interest was wearing: the Flag Eagle T-shirt, the triangle hat, the Converse tennis shoes. We got the shoe imprint. We got the palm print, and we have the new video: prone position, shooting
Not yet,
position,
Brandy.
which we had known about. Then we go back to what we talked about in the last hour. We now have the recovery of the weapon. Now we know how they found that weapon. They followed the video that they released tonight. That video led them to the weapon. That means we have ballistics. We have new video of new pictures that.
Okay, and then there is more coming in. This is Charlie Kirk's casket has arrived at his home church in Arizona, where he attended most every single Sunday.
Your heart goes out to the family right now and friends of Charlie Kirk. His casket now coming out of the hearse, and there we go. Charlie Kirk's now going inside of this church. And the family continuing to make plans for the funeral. President Trump says he wants to attend the funeral as well. We heard that today. Your heart goes out to the family right now.
Yeah. They're saying that, let's see here. They're saying that he may be in the rotunda as the Lion State, which is a very, very rare thing for someone not of a government official. I think maybe 2 or 3 in the history of our 200 and some years. Definitely an American flag with an eagle and then something, and then definitely Converse laced up shoes. He's wearing a hat, glasses. Tall, slim. That looks like is that like one of those, like a combination thing on the backpack? Let's go back to this. Let's see here. Land of the free. I think it says because of the brave. He's had to have. He wears a pretty good size shoe. I think it's a disabled vet. I don't know, but I tell you one thing. Yep. Home of the brave. Land of the free, home of the brave. Right. Yeah. Charlie went to a lot of these gatherings. Okay, here's some more photos. Look at this. This is, you can see his face. I don't know if they showed these or not. Look at this one. I mean, he's had to have had some sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Same are on eBay. He's had to have some type of tracking with not liking Charlie Kirk. Right? He looks very young, very, very young. And also people are saying that I know there's rumor going around that it could be this trans person. I've seen people compare the two, and I will say it is rather shocking of how they look, like how similar they look. Let me see here. Oh, look at this. Look at this. That's him limping. And he could be a disabled veteran if that is his normal walk, if he was injured or whatever. It almost looks like he's got an artificial leg. From what I understand, that was before. He looks like he's walking with an artificial leg. Like from the knee down. Oh, the weapon could be in his pants. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Looks like a police car across the street. He was running pretty good afterwards. It's weird. Very weird. All of this is going on. The question. Hold on, look here. I just noticed this. Look at this. You can tell he's got something in his pocket right here. I mean, where is the pew pew? Where's the pew pew at? He left so much DNA getting off that roof. Well, and then there's the GUN that he ditched as well. They have checked the neighborhoods. I think he came 8 minutes prior. Let me check something here. I think he came like 8 minutes prior to. But I have not seen. What I have not seen is they said he was laying. 4chan identified. Okay, I just want to tell you that this has not been verified, but I just want to show you what's happening. Someone says breaking 4chan identified Sky Valdez, Valadez, Valadez, which has a SoundCloud with a track that was uploaded a month ago titled Charlie DEAD at 31, but deleted the track and changed his location to Leave Me Alone. The same gentleman was also spotted at an earlier tour date, questioning Charlie, and lives in Utah. Rainy Sky 021, Pinterest. High school photo of Sky Valadez had a song called on his SoundCloud, She, Her Pronouns. On Facebook, lives in Salt Lake City metro area. And remember, what was it? I was gonna say, my StreamYard is acting so weird. There was something with the trans art or something on some of the ammo. And to me, it was very weird that the question that was being asked to Charlie at the time said he was, what was the word? What was it? How many trans pew-pewings has there been? And then, oh, Hobo, thank you so much for gifting 2 pearl necklaces. I appreciate you, my darlings. Thank you so much. I wasn't expecting that. That's very sweet. Thank you so much, love. Appreciate you. If you receive this, make sure you thank Hobo. Did y'all see the thing in Texas also? No, Thought Criminal. Send it to me, please. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, something like that, April. Yeah. Yeah. And their nose, that nose, it's kind of bulbous round here. And it kind of goes out. And they both kind of have a mousy look about them. You know, that mousy look. I call it a mousy look. I don't know. But it's compelling. I was trying to look at the ears too, but here there's not really much ear to show. An illegal did to a motel manager. He threw the head across the parking lot, then picked it up. My God. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. That's crazy. I have no idea what is wrong with these people. What part of Texas was that? One second. I'm getting some stuff here. It's crazy. This is Phoenix. Oh, this is Phoenix Air. Listen to this. This is really sad. Phoenix Air Traffic Control.
South 1555 Phoenix Air, wind 2409, runway 26, good one. Clear line 26, Southwest 1565. Welcome home, Charlie. You didn't deserve it. May God bless your family. South 1555 Phoenix Air, wind 2409, runway 26, good one. Clear line 26, Southwest 1565. Welcome home, Charlie. You didn't deserve it. May God bless your family.
Isn't that sad? Isn't that sad, man? Terrible. I hope you did it again. Thank you, darling. Thank you so very, very much. Very sweet of you. My dear, very, very sweet of you. Thank you so much for your support. 1 second. Attorney. Yeah, the death penalty will happen. It's happening. So, this guy, if he doesn't end it himself, then it's happening to him. So let me see here. I mean, that video is grotesque. A lot of people are talking about that guy with the hat on, and he like grabs his hat and he does this, and then he touches his nose. I don't think it's anything. I really don't think it's anything. I think it's a great thing for conspiracy theorists. I don't think that guy had anything to do with it. I think it's just, out of 3,000 people there and people close, just some things are weird. It's just the way it is. Some things are just weird. Aw. Look at what someone drew. It is weird. It is weird. Isn't that nice? That's so sweet. Bear with me 1 second, see if there's anything right here that's there's a memorial for Charlie Kirk at Turning Point USA headquarters. Right. Earlier, just a little bit ago, they said that the public safety said, oh, come on, play, Duggan, play. Well, hell's bells. I guess I lost it, but they was here. Well, this one's.
Is it your understanding that this individual may be close by or still in Utah?
We have no idea. We're exploring leads for individuals out of state and individuals that live close by. We literally have persons of interest, tips coming in on the tip line that are spanning far and wide.
Is it your understanding that this individual may be close?
I absolutely think it's someone local. I do.
Catch this person. Last thing I will just say is we've been working with our attorneys, getting everything that we need, affidavits ready, so that we can pursue the death penalty in this case, and that will happen here in the state of Utah. More than anything, we are going.
Yeah. So I guess he was walking with the stock in his pants. That's why he was limping. Her Facebook says pre-Kate. Oh. Some people just lost their damn minds. Oh shit. 1 second. Let's see what the media's got.
I won't nitpick too much, but I will say, if you do go into the Oval Office, you should wear a suit and tie. That's my own personal perspective.
They may do it in the rotunda.
His black T-shirt, his black.
Let's see here. That was yesterday when they were leaving.
If you look up to the top left, you'll see the building where the shooter was proned out in the top left corner. We'll go ahead and play that video, and I'll narrate as we walk through that. So here you see the suspect ran behind that upper building. He's going to come out on the right, moves to this far right corner.
That's why I haven't covered
And
it.
he's going to
To be
climb
honest
off
with
the
you, on
edge
my main channels or anything,
and then
because
drop
I
down
don't
to the
want
ground.
to.
As
I
he
don't want
did
to see the
that, he
bullshit.
left some palm impressions.
I'm just not.
There's some smudges, some places we're looking to collect DNA. There's a shoe imprint where we believe the suspect is clearly identified as wearing Converse tennis shoes. Again, we'll replay that again so you can get another view of that. It's important to note his black T-shirt, his black pants, and there appears to be some white on the soles of those Converse tennis shoes. Those are all identifiable items that we're looking for. In the stills that are going to follow this, you're going to see a very distinctive
I mean, I could go live and do it on a vertical format and have 2,000 people in chat. I'm not doing it because I'll start cussing people. Oh, thank you, Slenderella. Thank you, honey. Wasn't expecting that. Thank you so much, honey. Appreciate you very, very much, my love. Appreciate you, love. They have it marked off with crime scene tape, yeah. See the glare? What do you mean, see the glare?
T-shirt with an American flag and appears to have an eagle on it. There's also a baseball cap with a triangle on it and a pair of sunglasses. All distinctive, all things that we would ask the public to look for and try to...
I just don't care what side you're on. It's awful. It's awful. Right? I mean, you go and like this has happened to both sides. Both sides are being killed. Just in Wisconsin, Democratic people, I don't know who the hell they were, got unalived. You know, our president, they tried to do this. I mean, it's human life. And if we don't respect human life as a human life, this man has 2 children. He had 2 kids under 2 whenever I don't know if they're not under 2 now, but I know that they were less than 2 years apart. Right? I don't want to see this happen to anybody. I don't care if it's Donald Trump or Nancy Pelosi's husband. I don't want to see it happen to anybody. Nobody. Nobody deserves that. And really, people start doing this, you lose the argument. You lose the argument if you do this. It's gone for you. Right? No, Joe. It wasn't a guy in a dress. So, no matter what side you're on, I'm somewhere in the middle, actually. So, this is crazy to me. This is nuts. Yeah. I mean, I can try to, just about everyone, I try to look at their positives, even if I don't care for them. I try to look at their positives, and I think Charlie Kirk was right at what he was doing. You may not have agreed with everything he said, or even anything he said, whatever your belief is, but I appreciated him building a camaraderie with college age students who are to have the conversation of the disagreements and debating why each other thought, their beliefs would help create a more perfect union, right? But people, both sides are too extreme. That's just the truth. There is extremism on both sides, right? And that is just the truth. And people need to really, nobody gets everything they want. Nobody, none of us get everything we want all the time. And everyone needs to calm down and learn to negotiate with each other, in my opinion, because it's just too much. It's really just too much, in my opinion. So I don't really like dealing with the politics stuff on here, because everyone has different beliefs, and I'm here for true crime. So but people need to calm down. And there is no party is right about everything 100% of the time. We think we're right because we believe the same thing that our party believes, or more like our party believes, or whatever. But everyone just needs to fucking calm down. Seriously, it's bad. It's really bad. And it's just disgusting that someone, that his wife and his kid, I mean, this was horrifying for you and I to see this. We've seen the video, right? We saw the video of Charlie Kirk neck exploding and him slumping over and falling. And His wife and child saw that. And you can never be okay after you see something like that with a loved one. You can never. He's 31 years old. He's a kid. He's young. Right? I'm 40 and I feel like I'm just starting. You can't unsee it. You cannot unsee it. One of the children were there, and his wife. Yeah. And we have to do better. We have to do better. Like they said earlier, that there was bots, pushing out misinformation from, Putin and Xi and all that. And I said, so many, like I've literally traveled all around the world. And I've had to be in places where you have to pretty much dress a certain way to be there. And you have to abide by certain rules. And I can tell you that you can't criticize the government. You can't do any of that. And these people are spreading so much disinformation whenever, if someone was to go up, in Russia and criticize Putin, you would be in jail or it would be your head. Right? So our differences is actually our strength. It really, really is. It's going to get much worse. Joe, you might be right. You might be right. But sadly, I believe I'm a little different because everyone says it's going to get much worse. And I feel like if we live with that mentality, then you're absolutely right. It's going to get worse. It is. I think we as Americans, and particularly in the West, we need to think of our future, all of us as a nation, as a world, as it will get better. And I know things seem worse in some cases. It is. But throughout history, there's political violence, and it goes up and down in this country as well. Now we have social media and stuff, and that sets it on fire. But I believe whatever we think is how we're gonna perceive it, how we're gonna perceive the future, and all of that. Things are so much better in so many ways. Now for us than it was 50 years ago, 60, 70, 80, 100 years ago, right? So a lot of things are better, but some things are not. Some things are not. And as Ronald Reagan said, America is that shining city on a hill. And I believe if we don't continue to look at America as that, or the West, Canada, as that shining city on a hill, then we fall in the gutter. And that's where we'll go. Because truly, the country is only as good as our minds, right? Is our mental health. If our mental health and as a nation is not good, nothing is good. Nothing is good. And because we're all just a brain, right? And our mental health is what it is at any time. And so I really believe we need hope in the future, not, it's very pessimistic. Everything is right now. So it can be fixed, Roxy. It can be fixed, but it has to take both sides to realize they're not going to get everything they want. Not in a democracy. Nobody gets everything they want in a democracy. And it's the constant pushing, right? That, because if one side is just pushing, well, then that leads to a dictatorship, authoritarianism, that kind of thing. And I think we've lost respect for each other, just as I don't think the internet has helped that at all either. When you're on the internet, you can be, people will say things that they would never say to someone's face. Never say to someone's face. And they'll say, "Oh, I'll say it to your face," over the internet, but they really would not say it to your face. How do I know that? I've met several people, creators. Some I've gotten along with, some that has been not so kind to me. And when you're in front of the face, it's different. And that's why I truly never say anything that I would not say to someone's face. I got to be real. I got to really mean it for me to say it. Yes, Teresa, we have become desensitized because the news moves so fast. And it's on with the next one. And it's on with the next one. And it's on with the next one. It's on to the next story. And so I think, that's part of it. Right. I think one of the main things is the family system is gone. I think that's very important for a country, a nation, is the family system. Having two parents in the same home, if possible, if at all, or at least having a cohesive relationship of, you're divorced or whatever, having a good working relationship. These, they get divorced, they can't stand each other, And therefore the kid suffers, everyone suffers, and we just have lost respect. We've just lost respect. Hey, Marlena. Oh, Hobo, you did it again, honey. Thank you so much. You guys are so amazing. Thank you. You didn't have to do that. Wasn't expecting that. Thank you so much. If you received that, make sure you thank Hobo. And, you know, you just look, and this goes for all of us. You just look, go to the 60s and before 60s and before. Look how everyone, it didn't matter if you were rich or poor. Didn't matter. You dressed up for the occasion. You dressed up for the occasion. You looked your best. You went out. I was looking at a picture in my town, and it was a new movie theater had opened up, and it was like in the 50s or something like that, and just everyone was just so dressed to the nines. And now it's acceptable to, you know, have your ass hanging out, there's no even respect for themselves. So if they don't have respect for themselves, they're damn sure not going to have respect for anybody else. They're just not. Right? I mean, I enjoy individuality. I really do. I really enjoy individual. I mean, obviously, I'm very individual. But I don't like the over. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Mm-hmm. That's absolutely right. Hold on. 1 second. I don't know. 1 second. Okay. We'll see. Just live and let live. I mean, that's the thing. We do need to live and let live. But there does have to be rules. There just has to be rules, right? I mean, and that's where it gets hairy. Right? Thank you, Marlene. Love you, darling. Love you too. Right, Deborah. Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. There will always be rules. Yeah, there has to be rules. There has to be rules. And just with everything, moderation. Humans do not like moderation. We don't like it. Unfortunately. We are very flawed creatures. We're definitely not perfect. Very complicated creatures. So, all right, guys, thank you so much. It's 11 o'clock here on the East Coast. Really do appreciate you. I might be back live here in a little bit. If not, I'm going to record some videos and edit some videos. So be looking at that. We may not all align, but we all need boundaries. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, guys. You guys are amazing. Appreciate you, Marlena, Hobo, Slenderella, Hobo, and Hobo. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate you. Butterflies. I'll figure it out. So I can just tell you here. I'm going to be doing some vertical streams pretty soon. And vertical streams, if you're familiar with them, it's kind of where like the YouTube shorts go, but they also do lives. It's for phones, pretty much. It's for phones. I'm going to be doing some vertical lives. Now, positives and negatives with this vertical lives. One is you get more people to see you. That's the positive. The negative is you get more people to see you. And with that, you get a lot of trolls. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on a 5-minute subscribe. And so that'll keep a lot out. So you're going to hear people, there's going to be a lot more trolls when I do those. So you just kind of have to be prepared. It's probably the lives you'll want to watch on your phone. And with that, when doing that, again, there's a lot of trolls. You're going to hear everything about my appearance, and you're going to see gay, all of that stuff. So just be prepared for it, mods and chat, for my regulars. So be ready. So mods, if you see people like that, that is where you take action and just immediate block. So you'll see that. I mean, there'll be, I watch vertical streams and there'll be people in there, it's like straight as an arrow. They're like gay. Okay, thanks, Cole. It's so weird. No, and that's the thing. Don't argue. That's exactly what they want. It don't bother me either, Roxy. I'm pretty comfortable with it by now. You think? I mean, look at me. So you're gonna hear that. And I mean, honestly, some of them are I think they're freaking funny, because like some are so witted. Yeah, right. I see you. Some of them are very quick-witted. I've been in some chats and they're like trolling other people and they'll say something and I'm like, that is so clever. Dumbass people. But that's what they want. They want attention. They want attention. And I don't ever give it to them. It's just not worth it for me. There are people that reply to every single thing that someone negative says about them. Please. I don't understand that. I don't understand it. I really don't understand it. It's just crazy to me that they do that. So that's, for my mods and chat and stuff. So just be ready when the verticals come, because they will be here pretty soon. I don't know. I think I rarely let any one of them get under my skin, because if they anger you, they control you. I don't let them do that. But I did go off the other day. I did go off when that, and she apologized, probably because I was going at her pretty good. But whenever I was reading the article in Little Renesmee, and before that, we were watching a video on Little Renesmee, and they were talking about using rusty pliers. And I was reading the article the other day, and I inserted rusty, and the word wasn't rusty in the article, but I was starting to, I was like, yeah, and here's the rusty pliers. And someone said, it, read it the way it is, like that. And I was like, I don't care if the article didn't say rusty pliers. Everyone else is saying rusty pliers, and they're pliers. And she apologized, and I said I apologize too. Renesmee's case makes me pretty emotional, to be honest with me. Well, the news said rusty, but the article I don't think said rusty or whatever. And I was commenting on it. I said rusty pliers. The news said rusty, yeah. And I was like, I don't give a fuck if they said rusty or not. I mean, not taking your. And she's like, I'm so sorry, Justin. I didn't mean, and sometimes you can read it wrong. I think that's a lot of times how I've taken things wrong in chat in the past, and people have taken my things wrong in chat. It's hard to know sometimes, like, how you mean it. There's not really, we set a tone in our mind when we read something, and sometimes we set the tone wrong, not intentionally necessarily. But I was just like, oh, sorry, they weren't rusty pliers. They were, they're just pliers you buy from Lowe's or, Harbor Freight. And, she's pulling the kids' teeth out without any numbing agents or anything. Kids never went to the dentist. Sorry, fucking rusty. I was on it the other day. I didn't feel good. I was sick. And so I just kind of tossed the ball back at her a little bit. Then I feel bad because when she's like, I'm sorry, she's like, I was like, no, I'm sorry. Just like a text. It is, yeah. I mean, it's essentially every time you type in chat, I'm reading a text message, you're reading other text messages from others in chat. And so if that's the worst thing you've done, we are good. Yeah. But still, sometimes you can just read something the wrong way. The Amish mom got you. That's a very bizarre one. Very bizarre. What did Brandy say? What did Brandy say? Yes, I rarely walk away, but I couldn't handle the details in Renesmee. It's a really bad one. Really bad one. And these laws have got to change with people hurting our kids. They really do. They really do. Yeah, it's bad. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I've got to either go live again or do some videos, edit some videos. So if you're up, oh, hold on, getting something. Oh yeah, got that. Yeah. If you're up in a little bit, I might be live. God bless, Delvin. Boogie, I was actually running through my head, and my state it's very easy to speak to local politicians. It's very easy to speak to the governor here, really. I think there's only like 1.1 million people in the entire state. And several years ago, my father-in-law was sick, and my family needed to come from out of the country, some of my family, and they had to get visas, and they couldn't get it quick enough because my father-in-law was dying, and it happened. We knew he was dying, but it got really bad really quick after a certain point. And I used to work at the Capitol years ago. And so I knew people, but I went down there, and at the time I talked to Joe Manchin, and he got their visas quick for us. And so I just go down there and draw my eyebrows on and just pop in there and be like, hey, I need to talk to somebody. I've done it so many times. So I think we need to do this about these missing boys, these missing kids, these parents. It's 11 in Michigan. I'm in bed listening. Good for you, Panda. Good for you. There's people in those vertical streams. They do the sleeping live streams. I could never do a sleeping live stream. I would be so paranoid, like me picking my nose or something. I could not do it. Yeah. So that's something that's good, where I live. I can't imagine like someone good, like living in California or Texas or Florida or something like that. You couldn't do it. That's good. That's very good. That's very good. He's been very helpful to me a couple times. Very helpful to me and my family a couple times. Yeah. She's asleep. I need to wake. She needs to stay asleep. She was up and down all night last night. Up and down, up and down. She usually sleeps amazing. Last night, I would wake up and she would be sitting right here. Right here. Like smothering when I wake up. In our county, texting yesterday. You did, Sandy? On Brandy, I have not heard, to be honest with you. I messaged someone today to see if they heard anything. Might have been the full moon. Might have been. She annoyed the hell out of me last night. I didn't sleep hardly any. Oh my God. I was getting ready to put her in a little travel case or something like that to just sit her beside of me, because she always sleeps with me. Just like always sleeps with me. And she likes to be warm. Really, really warm. But she was a little demon last night. She was hyper as can be. Hold on. 1 second. I'll show you this. I'm going to make some shorts out of them. It's going to be a little pink because the lights were out and I just had the pink light on. But she's getting in my shirt. Getting on the phone. I look really... You hear it. I need to do a hell of a lot more content with her, but I've just been it's been so busy with the missing kids. It's been just crazy. Pulling up the carpets last night. When she starts getting tired or she wants to cuddle, she does this. Tries to get in my shirt.
It's not a perch.
That's a giggle. That's a giggle from her. That's her giggling. She is growing. She's going to be a year old the 23rd. Always late. She's going to be 1 year old on the 23rd. November, I will have had her 1 year. She'll be 1 year the 23rd of this month. I cannot believe it. Yeah, I am going to get another one. Yes, I am getting another one. I want to have the room done. I don't have fucking time for anything. I swear I don't. I have been working, YouTube, of course, family life, cooking, cleaning, school, piano lessons, all of that stuff. And there's just not time. There's just not time. I probably should, Abigail. Does she ever just sit and cuddle or only when she's sleepy? No, she sits with me. She sits with me. Mm-hmm. Yeah. As she gets older, she'll, she'll just sit and watch a movie with you, just like a human. Yeah, I can't believe she's going to be a year old the 23rd. I really can't. There's really not butterflies. I feel like I wake up and I turn around and it's just time to go to bed. It's crazy. But yeah, I am going to get another one. Another spider monkey. And hopefully I might get a capuchin one of these days as well. I love capuchins. I love that they're very vocal. Very vocal. But also people say it gets annoying. I've heard a lot of owners say it secretly gets annoying, Justin. I wouldn't say that. It gets annoying. Like spider monkeys are pretty quiet. They don't. The only time Remy makes sounds is like if I'm tickling her, she does that. She goes. Spider monkeys make different sounds for different circumstances. If I go to the bathroom or I go to take a shower or something like that, she gets pissed off and she goes or something like that. And she doesn't like that because she's separated from me. And then when she's really happy, she does a whinny. It's called a whinny. It kind of sounds like a horse. How they go like that, but it's a little different. Like if she's eating her favorite, food or whatever, she'll. Oh yeah, yep. She takes baths just like a baby, She gets a bath about like a full bath. She gets once a week, and she gets butt baths every day. Every day, she has to have butt baths every day. So, yeah. Typical 1-year-old. Yeah. Can't believe it's been 1 year though. She's a mess. When I got her, she was just the size of my hand. I mean, that was it. My hand could cover her up. She was so tiny. So tiny. Now I love her so much. I feel good, Sassy. Feel good. It can't be swamp ass. And let me tell you something. Monkeys will get a swamp ass quick. Very quick. Oh yeah, she goes outside. Butterflies, yeah. Yeah. But they are a lot of work. Always, my goodness, I gotta be up at 5:30. But I usually work until about 2 a.m. every night. And then I go to sleep from 2 to 5:30. And then I'm up from about 5:30 to 7. And then I sleep from like 7:30 to like 8:30, 8:45, another hour. I only need about 4 hours of sleep. Well, butterflies, I hope to do a lot of content with Remy. Oh my God, how do you function? Oh my God, that's crazy. I think some people just don't need a lot of sleep. I don't think some people just don't need a lot of sleep. Let me see her sleeping. Oh, she's precious when she's sleeping because she's quiet. She's not jumping. She's a mess. All right, guys. Much love, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Appreciate you. I love my sleep, but I can't oversleep. I get cranky. If I oversleep, I feel foggy all day. I feel very tired all day. I don't know. I feel very weird. All right, guys. Much love, everyone. Appreciate you. Good night. God bless.